Hi everyone. It has been almost 3 weeks since my last video. I feel like I'm a Catholic in confessional. It's been 19 days since my last vlog. And that's just because I've been doing so good. There isn't really much to report on. It has been so long from my last update that I don't even remember what I spoke about the last update. So I'm keeping track of things that I've wanted to talk about. So one thing, the itching, like the crazy obsessive itching has subsided. I do get it at nighttime, so I think it's after I take my medication after dinner and I'm laying in bed is when it really hits me, and it's just my trunk, so like just my sides, under my arms, and then my stomach, and it's just at nighttime, so that's better than all the time because that was really awful. Food that I've been trying, I did have some salad, so I had lettuce, so that was great. I had popcorn twice, like I'm not having it very often, so like maybe once a week or less. I guess it's been a couple weeks since I had it last. And I've had some chocolate, and I think I said it on the last video, I had tomato sauce, and I hadn't had any tomatoes since then. So I've had no reactions. I did have one kind of bad day, but it wasn't like I didn't have any diarrhea or anything. It was just that I went a lot that day, and it was just regular. So I feel like I'm completely in remission now, and that's such an amazing thing. I mean, I can't every day and now I'm back to my busy schedule again. So leave at 7:30 in the morning, and I don't see my home again until 10 at night. I missed it. I missed it so much, but I honestly didn't think that I'd get to this point. And I am like, the first week that I was back to my crazy schedule, I said, how did I do this? Like, how did I ever do this before? But I missed it so much. So I'm really glad to be back there. Where was I going with that though? Oh yeah, so I'm just thankful every day that I have the option to be doing yoga and dance full time and not having to miss any, and went on a road, well I guess not really road trip, but I went to Edmonton to see some family. My great grandmother passed, and I brought all my food with me. So that was fine, but like my counselor said, like that would have put me into like a frenzy before thinking about not being able to eat, or worrying about finding food the entire time I was there. And I didn't think of it as a burden. I didn't really think of it as an inconvenience. It was just, hey, I can bring all my food with me, and I just packed a whole 2 big reusable bags full, and had stuff to eat for the excuse me, I just ate. I shouldn't have eaten right before the video. And I had food for the drive, and had food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and was perfectly fine. I did end up getting peer pressured into going to a dinner with some of the family, and was really reluctant and just wanted to go home and eat and then meet them afterwards, but ended up going to the dinner with them. And I basically made like a make your own pizza. So I had gluten-free pizza crust with chicken and grilled pineapple, and there was no sauce that I could have except for maple syrup. So there was like gluten-free crust, chicken, and grilled pineapple, and like a little bit of drizzle over top of maple syrup. And the gluten-free crust obviously needs sauce because it was like cardboard, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not at all exaggerating. I couldn't even bite some of it. I couldn't even chew through some of it. So I think it needs the sauce to like get soaked up, and also there was no cheese on it or anything. And here I'm like, oh man, I have all my food. I could just go and eat. And I don't even want to tell you. It was like an individual sized pizza, and I only had those 3 toppings and that crappy sauce, a little bit of maple syrup. It was $25. That is insane. That is a steak dinner. I was so mad and frustrated about that, but I got over it. So that was good. My embarrassing symptom that I got with the back acne that was just on the back of my neck, like the upper part of my back, is gone. I got some Proactive on Boxing Day and used it for, I think it went away after 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, so that's really good. Glad that's gone. I don't have to worry about that. Oh yeah, more food that I had some more egg, so I have egg maybe once a week too, and no reactions to that. So that's really an improvement because, as we know, I tried the egg when it was one of the colitis friendly things, and I reacted to it within a couple hours, so that's really great. So I met with my gastroenterologist finally on Wednesday, and I was so worried about seeing him because everything I've heard about him, he's just not a nice person. He doesn't know what he's talking about. People apparently go to him and then end up going to a gastroenterologist in Calgary. They go out of their way because they don't like him. So I always keep an open mind with everything, and I'm very analytical, and I like to get my own opinions on things. So I was really nervous about meeting him, but at the same time just wanted to get over with. And he came in, and he was very funny. Like, he asked me, so you don't smoke, drink, or swear? And so like people get caught off guard, and so they'll just be like, nope, about the smoking and the drinking, but then they think, oh yeah, I do swear. So as soon as he said it, I kind of like caught myself back, and I was like, well, I swear. And so he called me a pirate, which I thought was quite humorous. And he did confirm that I do have ulcerative colitis. So that's finally like, she has colitis, she has ulcerative colitis, she has colitis, she has ulcerative colitis. So now I know ulcerative colitis. So I guess, I mean, not that it matters anymore. Like, I thought just having colitis mentally, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. But no, it's still as bad, but I still got through it just the same. So that's fine. He did suggest, because I told him about the itching, I did tell him it wasn't as bad, but he says to take the medication first thing in the morning, all 5 of them, because I was taking 3 in the morning, 2 at dinner, and so he said to take all 5 in the morning, but then I noticed that I was just itchy around noon, so I'd rather be itchy at night when I'm in bed and comfortable than when I'm at work and I'm trying to itch a silk shirt. Like, that's not happening. That was really girly. That's funny. And then he said, if it doesn't go away, the itching, he wants to know, and then he'll switch my medication, but he said that what I'm on is the best medication out there. Speaking of medication, so apparently there's no type of medication to switch to when you're in remission, which I was under the impression of that almost this entire time, that I was going to be switching medication when I'm in remission. And he's like, no. So he told me to take my same dosage for 2 more months, 2 to 3 more months, and then switch to only taking 3 a day, but never less than 3 a day. And it kind of escalated where I was like, oh, really? And I kind of was shocked about that. And he was like, yeah, you don't want to ever not take the medication. And to me, from my very first video, I think it was like, I don't want to be on the medication anymore. And here it's been, February, December, January. It'll almost be 3 months right away. And I've been taking all this medication. I just don't want to, and I just feel like the diet just means, the diet to me is what healed it. And of course the gastroenterologist is like, don't change your diet. Don't do any of that. Well, you know what? You should have seen me 2.5 months ago when I got this then. What was I to do? I did my own research. So, and like my surgeon said, I self-healed through diet, and I'm 100% in belief of that. So, and I knew that he was going to say all of this. I knew that was going to happen. It's just actually hearing it just makes me so much more frustrated about it. Like, who wants to be on medication their entire life? The pharmaceutical company, they want you on medication for the rest of your life. And it's just so unrealistic for me. Like, I'm a healthy person, and even though I have this disease, I don't feel like it's defining. So, I don't know, it's a mental struggle right now because, when a doctor is telling you, and when I said that it kind of escalated to the point where he told me that I was going to get cancer and die. And that's a little bit extreme, but it was like, people that don't take their medication aren't going to see their doctor. They're not checking in with their doctor. They're not letting them know how they're doing. And he said that in 8 years I need to start doing the cancer screenings, which I feel a little apprehensive about, because what's to stop me from getting cancer between now and then? Like, is that when the disease matures? Like, I don't understand anything about that, but that's, even my family doctor said up to 10 years is when we'd start looking at doing the cancer screening. So he said the people that don't take their medication don't follow up with their doctor, so they don't remember to get their cancer screenings, and then they get cancer and die. And that is very extreme. Like, that is such an extreme. And I don't feel like I feel like, because my grandmother had colon cancer, I'm going to be getting my cancer screening. So I don't feel like I'm going to be of that time. And also, my grandmother did get colon cancer, and she didn't die. So there. So there. We are a family of fighters. And after going to my great-grandmother's funeral, we saw how we have, like, just this strong, powerful women in our family, and that was so uplifting. And just having gone through what I went through, that just made it just justified all of it. You know, coming from this line of family is just like, of course you got through this. Of course you mastered your autoimmune disease. So anyways, he said to drop down to 3 pills in a couple months, and he did tell me not to stop taking the medication, and now I really want to try it. He told me I would regret it. He said I would regret, mark his words, I would regret it if I quit taking my medication. And I kind of want to prove him wrong. Like, is that wrong of me to want to prove my doctor wrong? Not that he would ever know. I mean, because I'd probably just tell him I was taking it, but then I'd have to get refills. Like, is it all worth lying about? Or did I just tell him I'm not taking it and I'm doing fine? I mean, I don't know. Like I said the whole time, like, I don't know what caused me to go into remission. I was in remission for 1.5 years without knowing I even had this disease. So, I mean, this disease is just so frustrating and so unpredictable, and it just, you can't throw anything at it that it's just going to throw you another curveball right back at you, you know? So it's really a mental struggle. So it's something I'm going to have to really think about, hum and haw about, talk to people about. I mean, everybody I've talked to that are in remission, they don't take their medication. So why would I want to take it? I don't know. Anyways, what's next? Oh, at the end of the appointment, he said, he's like, make sure you go to the Crohn's and Colitis website. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been on there. He's like, only go on that website, just that one website. And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, what's the harm of looking at other places? And honestly, I can't research any more than I have. I found that this University of Lethbridge, where I'm from, they have actually done a whole bunch of studies about Crohn's and colitis. And so I feel like anytime I see a new article about some new research that they've found, or new research that's been done, or new testing that they're doing, or new treatments or something, I'm reading up on that. But there's nothing more for me to know about this disease. And I feel like, again, I got diagnosed 2.5 months ago. So I've done my research, like, I've done it all. So it's kind of too bad that he's not involved with the diagnosis process, like, meeting you as soon as you get a diagnosis. You think you'd want to. Like, why would you want to see someone 2.5 months later? Like, that doesn't... Anyways, that's just Canada for you. So, my counseling sessions, I think I went to 4 total, and I've graduated. So, we set goals in the very first appointment. I'm not a goal-setting person. Like, I'm kind of a just do what comes to me, or like do what I just want to do, and I'm never like, oh, I'm going to do this. I just do it if I want to do it, and I don't do it if I don't want to do it. And if I start doing it and quit, I'm okay with that. And that's just because I'm always going, I'm always thinking, I'm always thinking what's next. That's just me. And so setting goals is not really my forte. I even hated that in school. If you have to set a goal for something, I hated that. We have to do that at work. We have to set goals at work, and then we have to talk about if we met them. Like, I don't like setting goals. Anyways, so we set goals in my first counseling session. I was kind of a wreck at that first counseling session, like holding back tears almost the entire time, and so reluctantly set goals. And I came into the appointment this week. It was Monday because it was an American holiday. And I was so excited to tell her about all these amazing things that have been happening, like how I've been dealing with things, how I've been handling things. And she's like, okay, well, that's really interesting. Let me just have a look at your first appointment. So she had a look at all the goals that we set, and I'd met all of them like flying colors. And it's not like it's a test. Like, she's not testing me. Obviously, this is my real life, and it's not anything that you can fake. Like, you can't fake your life. You can fake what you tell somebody, but I can't fake. I mean, everybody knows me. I'm an open book. Like, however I'm feeling is like right in my face. Like, it doesn't lie. So I was I was just excited to go and tell her all these amazing things. And then I left knowing that I'd graduated, that I didn't really need to go back. So she basically said, because with the EAP program we get 6, so I have 2 more left to use. And she basically said, like, if something crazy happens, and you need to talk to me again, you need to get through something really severe, then we can meet up again. So I think that's really promising. I mean, I expected to go over my free visits because of how awful I was feeling. And I even remember we kind of reminisced about what type of mental place I was in when I went in there, and it was not pretty. And I was really down, really, really down. And I haven't had a down day in a long time. I kind of had a breakdown when I was in Edmonton. Actually, when we went to that dinner that I didn't want to go to in the first place, Paul. So I just kind of was out of my comfort zone. Like, I didn't have my food with me, so that was my one uncomfortable thing. And usually if I go out somewhere to eat, I eat before I go, so I can just have water or juice. And so I didn't have my food with me. It was the first time being without my husband since this had happened. I was out of town. It was the first time being around family, like in person, like a whole group of family, like people who I know love me and care for me and have wanted to be there for me through this, but of course because of distance they couldn't be. And so all of that kind of and then obviously I was there for a funeral, so all of that kind of came and hit me pretty hard and was really overwhelming. And like I felt like I couldn't really contribute to their conversation because I talked about my illness a bunch when I was there, because all these people aren't necessarily up to date on what's been going on with me. And so it really hit me hard, and so I kind of had a breakdown at dinner and cried, but then, I talked openly about how I'm feeling and why I'm reacting this way, and got over it, and every fiber in my being wanted to leave the next morning. I just wanted to go home and not be in Edmonton anymore, and I just got there that morning, Thursday, and I wanted to leave Friday morning, and I stayed. I stayed. And that showed a lot, and I didn't break down again. I just took it day by day. It was only a couple of days, but person by person, as I got really overwhelmed when I'm with a big group of people. And I even said to my cousin, like, this I used to thrive off of, and now I'm a little standoffish, which I never was before, and they don't know that about me. So they're like, Christina, let's make plans. Christina, what are you doing later? Christina, and before that was me, or I would have already made plans before I'd even gotten there. But this time I hadn't made any plans, and I didn't really want to make any plans. So getting all that pressure from all those different directions was kind of upsetting. But I got through it. And before, I wouldn't have gotten through it. Before it, I would have cried, and it would have been the end of the world, and I would have left the next morning, and I didn't. So I was rewatching my videos, like I mentioned, and it's just so awesome to see how far I've come. And I still have so many people coming up to me telling me how amazing I look, because my shallow cheeks aren't there anymore. I still kept on that 4 pounds I gained back, and doing the yoga like 3-4 times a week, and doing my dance classes, and I'm just doing so good. And I can't even explain or describe to you how uplifting it feels to have gotten this far. And I've built this inner strength. There's a couple people who I've been around who have had their own breakdowns, and if that was a few weeks ago, I wouldn't have been able to help them because I couldn't help myself. And I felt like now I can reach out to people, and now I can, be a support person like I used to be, and that's really awesome. I'm gonna do my movie reviews in a different video, so I can keep them separate because this one's already 20 minutes. So I hope everyone has a really great weekend. I'm going to salsa tonight. And yeah, just have a great weekend. Be safe. Keep warm. Enjoy this beautiful weather that we're having in January. Like, we never would have expected it to be this nice. So just enjoy it and be with your friends, be with your family. Just live your life.